What does it take to survive in the harshest conditions imaginable? Let's delve into a story that tests the limits of human endurance and resilience. Our tale begins on an ordinary day in Uruguay. A rugby team, brimming with youthful vigor, and their families were preparing for what should have been a routine flight to Chile. The air was thick with excitement and anticipation, as they looked forward to the rugby match and the adventures that awaited them in Chile. The flight was just a small part of their journey, a short hop over the majestic Andes Mountains. However, as we know, life often has its own narrative, diverging from our carefully laid plans. And for these unsuspecting passengers, their routine flight was about to turn into an unimaginable ordeal, one that would push their mental and physical capabilities to the brink. Little did they know that their journey would take a life-altering turn, thrusting them into a fight for survival. As they soared above the Andes, disaster struck. The plane crashed, leaving them stranded amidst the towering peaks and freezing conditions. The once vibrant laughter and camaraderie that filled the aircraft were suddenly replaced by screams of terror and the roar of metal against stone. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. The plane, once a symbol of modern technology and safety, lay broken and twisted on the unforgiving slopes of the Andes. The wreckage served as a chilling reminder of the sheer force of the impact. Lives were lost in an instant, friends, family, teammates. The survivors were left in a state of shock, their minds struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the catastrophe. The initial panic gave way to a bone-deep chill as the survivors took stock of their grim reality. They found themselves in a landscape of ice and snow, the harsh sunlight reflecting off the pristine white surface only amplifying the desolation. The once familiar faces of their friends and loved ones were now marred by fear and grief. The survivors, most of them young men in their teens and early 20s, were suddenly thrust into a battle for survival, a battle they were woefully unprepared for. In the immediate aftermath of the crash, the survivors rallied together. They searched the wreckage for supplies, salvaging what little food and water they could find. Every scrap of cloth, every piece of wreckage became crucial in their fight against the freezing cold. They used the remains of the plane as a makeshift shelter, huddling together for warmth as the unforgiving Andean night set in. The enormity of their situation began to sink in. The world outside their snow-covered prison was oblivious to their plight. No planes flew overhead, no search parties combed the mountainside. The silence was deafening. It was a stark realization that hit them all. They were alone, utterly alone. With no sign of rescue, they quickly realized that they were alone in their struggle for survival. In the face of such overwhelming odds, their will to live was about to be tested like never before. With limited supplies and brutal weather, survival became a daily battle. Imagine yourself in the middle of the Andes, surrounded by nothing but snow, ice, and the remnants of a crashed plane. The biting cold gnaws at your bones, and hunger is a constant companion. This was the reality for the survivors of Flight 571. The temperature often plunged below freezing, and the thin air at such high altitudes made every breath a struggle. The survivors had to use their ingenuity to create makeshift shelters from the wreckage, battling the elements as they fought to stay alive. The food supply was limited to what they had brought on the plane. A few snacks, a bit of wine, it was nowhere near enough to sustain them. As the days turned into weeks, the threat of starvation loomed large. But the physical challenges were only half the battle. The psychological toll was equally, if not more, devastating. They were isolated, cut off from the world, not knowing if they would ever be found or rescued. The fear, the uncertainty, the sheer hopelessness of their predicament gnawed at their spirits, adding a layer of psychological torment to their physical suffering. In the face of such dire circumstances, the survivors had to make decisions that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. As the food ran out, they were forced to consider a horrifying possibility: cannibalism. It was a decision that no one took lightly. It was a decision born out of desperation, a testament to their will to survive, to hold on to life at all costs. These were ordinary people thrust into an extraordinary situation, pushed to the very limits of their endurance. They were tested in ways they never could have imagined, their survival instincts pitted against the most primal of human taboos. Their will to live overcame the gruesome reality of their situation, pushing them to make decisions they never thought possible. Despite the odds, they refused to surrender to despair. A glimmer of hope emerged, sparking a daring plan. In the face of insurmountable adversity, a courageous decision was made. A small group from the survivors committed themselves to undertake a grueling journey in search of help. The plan was audacious to say the least. It required crossing the unforgiving Andes, a terrain that was as alien to them as it was hostile. The physical challenges of this expedition were immense. The bitter cold of the high altitude, the treacherous slopes, and the thin air that made every breath a struggle were just a few of the hurdles they had to overcome. But they pressed on, driven by their will to survive and the knowledge that their friends' lives depended on their success. But it wasn't just the physical challenges that they had to contend with. The mental toll of their ordeal was equally, if not more, daunting. The constant fear of the unknown, the gnawing hunger, and the isolation from the rest of the world tested their resolve to its limits. Yet they refused to let despair set in. Instead, they drew strength from each other, their shared experiences binding them together in a bond stronger than any adversity they faced. And then, after days of relentless struggle, something miraculous happened. A chance encounter with a Chilean horseman in the remote Andes Mountains. This was the breakthrough they had been hoping for, a beacon of hope in the midst of their darkest hour. It was a moment that epitomized the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit, a testament to their unwavering determination. The survivor's story is one of indomitable courage and an unyielding will to live. It reminds us of the incredible strength we possess when faced with dire circumstances and the remarkable lengths we can go to for the sake of survival. Their determination led them to a breakthrough, a chance encounter that would end their ordeal. After 72 days of enduring the unimaginable, their desperate plea for help was finally heard. The rescue operation was no small feat. It was a delicate dance of precision, courage, and an unyielding resolve to bring these survivors home. The Andes, with their towering peaks and unforgiving terrain, posed significant challenges. Yet, the rescuers, armed with an unwavering commitment, took on the task. Helicopters defying the thin mountain air made their way towards the crash site. Each movement was a calculated risk, but the potential reward, human lives, made every effort worthwhile. As the first helicopter landed near the wreckage, the survivors' emotions overflowed. Relief, joy, and an overwhelming sense of disbelief washed over them. They were finally found. They were going home. News of the miraculous rescue spread like wildfire around the globe. The world, which had mourned their presumed loss, now watched in shock and awe. The survivors' tale of resilience, survival, and sheer willpower gripped the hearts of millions. Their story, both heartbreaking and inspiring, unfolded on international screens, newspapers, and radios. The world had not seen such a display of human spirit and tenacity in the face of adversity. The survivors, once ordinary individuals, had become extraordinary symbols of survival. Their faces, marked by the harsh Andes environment, told a story of determination and hope. Their eyes, glazed with relief and gratitude, reflected the strength of the human spirit. They had faced death and despair, yet they chose to fight, to live, to survive. The miracle of the Andes, as it came to be known, was more than just a survival story. It was a testament to the power of hope, the strength of human will, and the extraordinary lengths individuals can go when faced with the unthinkable. From the brink of despair, they emerged victorious, their story standing as a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Their tale, etched in the annals of history, serves as a stark reminder of the resilience inherent in each of us, waiting to be awakened when faced with the harshest of trials. The miracle of the Andes holds profound lessons about survival, resilience, and the strength of the human spirit. This gripping narrative reveals how ordinary individuals can achieve extraordinary feats when cornered by adversity. Faced with the brutal reality of the Andes, the survivors of Flight 571 clung to life with an unshakable determination. Their story underscores the power of hope, a beacon that can guide us through the darkest times. In the midst of despair, they found the strength to make unimaginable decisions, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Their unwavering teamwork, even in the face of death, is a lesson to us all about the power of unity and camaraderie. The miracle of the Andes is more than a tale of survival. It is a testament to the extraordinary capabilities of ordinary people when pushed to their limits. In the harshest conditions, they found the strength to survive, reminding us of the extraordinary capabilities of ordinary people when pushed to their limits.